Let's get stuck into this case, the fascinating case. The teenager acquitted of murdering two men during Black Lives Matter protests, Kyle Rittenhouse. He's set to appear on Fox News in an exclusive interview with our mate, Tucker Carlson, this week. Rittenhouse was found to have acted in self-defence. The case has divided the US, and even President Biden has commented, indicating that he was disappointed with the decision. He said, have a look, he said, while the verdict in Kenosha will leave many Americans feeling angry and concerned, myself included, we must acknowledge that the jury has spoken. Cameron, why do you think this case has become such a lightning rod that even the president has weighed in to express his concern?
Yeah, Sharri, it's remarkable that the president has actually come in and expressed those sentiments. I think I covered this case when I was in Washington last year, and you can't think of a case that was better scripted to divide America. Basically, I mean, as far as the left, political left in America is concerned, their view is that Rittenhouse got a gun illegally, an AR-15 no less, which is virtually a machine gun, turned up claiming to be a bit of a defending businesses, but basically was looking for trouble. This is their view, and ended up killing two people, seriously injuring one. As far as the right conservatives in America are concerned, he is a classic vigilante. And of course, vigilantes in America are much more welcomed in political terms on the right of politics than they are in Australia. It's very much, look at every American Western with the myth of the vigilante. Rittenhouse came, defended businesses in the view of the Conservatives, and did the right thing, took it upon himself. It's all about gun control, about personal responsibility. And so this case is an absolute tinderbox. And so what's fascinating now is that you've got a jury actually acquitting him. And the question now is what will happen in America, because we've seen these sort of verdicts before. We've seen huge protests, and these protests, of course, can be out of control. Of course, the whole issue of what Rittenhouse was doing was at a protest, a Black Lives Matter protest, protesting against a police shooting of a black man. And so, you know, what's going to happen in the next 48 hours is going to be crucial in America to see whether this is going to be a bit of a blip or whether it is going to start yet again another cycle of violence on the streets, which we saw 2 years ago with George Floyd, and which is a constant repeating process in America. So it's an extraordinary case, and one that really has cleaved American politics down the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll look forward to seeing his interview this week on Fox News. Aaron Patrick, Allegra Spender, the daughter of late fashion designer Carla Zampatti, has announced that she's thinking of running as an independent in the eastern suburbs seat of Wentworth. This is the seat currently held by Liberal MP Dave Sharma, previously held by Malcolm Turnbull. It's been reported that Spender will run a campaign similar to that of Zali Steggall in Warringah, and that she's going to campaign on climate change and really push her credentials in that area and attack Dave Sharma and the Liberals on that front. What do you make of this contest?
What we have here is money. It's people, very rich, left-wing people, like Simon Holmes a Court, Daniel and Lyndall Droger, who own a hedge fund here in Sydney, made a huge amount of money out of it. And it's sort of the left-wing establishment coming up, and they don't like Scott Morrison, they don't like what he's done, and they want to try and take over a bunch of these inner-city Liberal seats. And what they're hoping to do is replicate Zali Steggall's victory in Warringah out of Wentworth. You've got to say that it's quite a good seat for them to have a shot at. But at the same time, it does. I spoke to Lyndall Droger about it during the week, and I said to her, well, look, isn't this rich people just trying to have their way over politics? And she said, well, that's always been the case. Wealthy people have always had political influence. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it pans out. You think they'd have a good chance, but at the same time, the Prime Minister went to Glasgow and he declared we're going to go net zero by 2050. So he has given the environmentalists what they really wanted. So now, of course, they're pushing for more. They're pushing for 50% by 2030. There's no way he's going to offer them that.
Yeah. Aaron, we don't know yet exactly who is backing Allegra Spender, though, do we?
Well, look, as far as I can tell, she is supported by the Voices of and the Wentworth Independence movement, which is connected to Climate 200,
Okay.
which has been set up by Home Support.
Right, okay. Now, Chinese state media has released photographs and video that it claims to be current of missing tennis star Peng Shuai. And this comes after the government also released an email that they claimed was from the tennis star, but it has raised more questions about her safety than it answered. She's been missing since November the 3rd after she accused a former top Chinese government official of sexual abuse. Cameron, what do you think about the video that was released today, and how has it been received? Are people trusting? Are people in authority trusting that this is a current video, or do people think it's old and dated and it was released by the Chinese Communist Party propaganda outlet, the Global Times?
Sharri, I think views are mixed as to whether it's real or not. I mean, it may well be real, but of course that doesn't mean that Peng Shuai is free as such. I mean, the Chinese propaganda machine is incredibly effective here. I mean, they may, just because they've got videos of her, that would be great because she's physically safe, then if that's the case. But it certainly doesn't mean that she is free and able to do what she wants necessarily. So it's fascinating. It seemed like such an own goal by China to sort of when she disappeared for so long. And what's going to be fascinating now is exactly what China does. I mean, her accusations against the former vice premier were very, very brave, crazy brave, some might say, given the Chinese system. But what does China do now? Because this isn't sort of some obscure business person that the Chinese might be trying to disappear, if you like. This is a tennis player who was #1 on the doubles circuit. And you've now got Roger Federer, you've got Novak Djokovic, Serena Williams. All these players are talking about it publicly. China is in the glare now. And so what are they going to do? I think it's fascinating. Let's hope those videos are real and that she's okay. But it really seems like a real own goal by China. And where they go from here will be really interesting to see.
Yeah. Look, I think it is concerning that not only their approach to people just to disappear them if there's something that they don't like, but they do seem to be targeting more and more high-profile, visible people, and there have been high-profile businessmen as well. So I agree with you. It's really, really worrying, and I hope she's safe as well and that she is okay.